Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure your road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, cool,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Got clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Radio you can touch.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
Who the hell are you? I'd rather go down to the barber shop and ask a guy about ready to get his hair cut what the urgency's like.
Lord knows we need family now more than ever.
Jeff Lutz.
I just don't want to indulge you, and I'm the greatest thing in the world every time we're on the show. I'm not going to do that.
You're unbelievable. Judas.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's showtime, baby. You go wacko, bananas, nuts, crazy, unbelievable.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Hello again, everybody. It's a Monday edition of the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Bob Lutz and Jeff Lutz, your co-hosts, Max Power, producing and engineering the show. It's going to be warm this week. It's warm out there right now. It's going to get warmer.
Yeah, it's going to be summer-like.
We might touch 100 later in the week.
Maybe.
Why do you act so nonchalant about it?
Why do I care?
You don't care if it gets really hot?
Not really, no. It doesn't affect me that much. You?
Of course it affects you.
No, how?
It affects everyone. The weather in which we live and operate.
When do I spend a lot of time outdoors?
Well, I do.
Well, you do, and that affects you a little bit more. But outside of opening the window in the press box, which I love, I'll do that in 200-degree weather.
Maybe you need to live a little more outdoors. Have you ever thought about that?
Spent some time outdoors yesterday.
Where?
Had a full weekend this weekend, which rarely happens.
What happened? I'm unaware of everything. I don't know what happened.
Right. We didn't speak about it.
I don't care about speaking. What happened?
Well, we went and hung out with the Hans.
How'd that go?
On Saturday. It was fantastic.
What was fantastic about it?
Oh, just nice company, nice meal. Played some games.
What'd they serve?
Oh, we just went and got Chipotle.
Well, that's whatever. Okay.
They don't need to cook for us. That's not necessary.
What game did you play?
We played a game called Wavelength. We played a game called Fuzzy Logic, and we played everyone's favorite, Taboo.
Who won?
Well, we mixed up the teams. I won a couple times. We did not win in Taboo. Shannon and David Michael Hahn won Taboo. I won with my wife and something, and they won some. Who knows?
And then what happened yesterday that was so...
we went out to All-Star Sports, played a little mini golf, played some video games, just kind of hung out.
Huh.
We went over to Freddy's and had a meal. Good times.
You'd be lost without Freddy's, it seems.
Well, Freddy's is fantastic.
I never go there.
Why?
I don't know. Our go-to is kind of Brahms.
Brahms is fine. I enjoy Brahms, and everyone should. It's a local institution.
Well, it's not a local institution. It's.
What did it start out in, like Oklahoma?
Yeah, not here.
Close enough. We have some of the.
And the only reason is because they have the drive-thru, and they're right over here, and their bacon cheeseburger is the best ever.
Good. Better than Freddy's.
Never had it
Steak
there that
burger.
I know of.
You've never had a Freddy's burger?
I've had a Freddy's burger, but Brahms bacon cheeseburger is so good.
I usually just go with
I just stumbled into it. I've never had a bacon anything burger in my life.
That's bizarre.
No, I don't get it either, but I just kind of ordered it one day, and boy, My life hadn't been the
Well,
same.
I'm sure it's real good. I usually go with just the bag of burgers, and you eat them over the course of like 3 meals.
Well, sure, that's a good way to go.
It's all right. You don't want to do it too often, but
Freddy's is fine, is very good too, but Brahms is kind of our go-to.
nothing wrong with it.
And we went to a Mexican restaurant in Hayesville the other day, Saturday evening, that I'd heard about, and tried it, and it was outstanding.
It was outstanding?
Yes. And I can't remember the name of it.
What'd you get there?
I got the enchiladas.
Chicken or beef?
Beef. And they were among the best I've ever had.
I'm not usually a fan of the red sauce, as you know.
I love the red sauce.
I like my enchiladas draped in the cheese sauce.
I love the red sauce.
With the little pulled chicken, fajita chicken, whatever. So we're diametrically opposed on our enchilada preferences. You don't need to look it up right now. I can look it up while still holding the mic. Do you understand that?
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
I'm holding it close enough to where it picks up my voice very well.
Well, you need whatever you're doing. You need to stop.
It's called Excaret in Hayesville, and we enjoyed it. We'll maybe go back, although we're on a mission of discovery.
Really, by going to none of these are even remotely exotic.
What do you mean?
You've been to a taco place and now another Mexican place. What are you discovering?
Just trying different places.
Well,
no, we
enjoy
could
it.
go. Let's order at Chipotle. Let's play.
Well, yeah, you don't have any dietary restrictions, so that's pretty easy for you.
Let's play Taboo and get some Chipotle.
Why do you say Chipotle?
That's not how we operate.
That aggravates me to no end. Chipotle.
I love aggravating.
There's a literal letter in the Spanish alphabet, CH.
Chipotle is not the place we're going to go.
No one has ever gone to Chipotle.
I like it. It's fine, but that's not amongst my my given restaurants right now.
Fine.
Trying different places.
Well, that's great.
And we'll continue to do that for a little while.
Have you ever
We
been
have
over
very
to...
good friends who go with us, and
Who are they?
well, you don't need to know. I knew that would tweak you.
Yeah, that tweaks me. Have you ever been to Lee's
That bothers
Chinese
you, doesn't
restaurant?
it? Does it bother you?
No.
That I have friends.
I mean, it bothers me for them. Have you ever been to Lee's?
Where is it?
Off of Kellogg.
Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
No.
I might go there. They've got a lot of gluten-free options.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't. But their menu says if you order gluten-free, you have to pay extra. So I want to go there to argue with the people who are going to make us do that.
Well, I've heard good things about it.
Well, I'm sure it's great.
We'll have to ask Denise Neal, who may be coming to League 42 tonight to try our hamburger.
Really? Not the $7 one.
Maybe.
Really?
The League 42 burger with a hot link. Jamie Green, Wichita Eagle photo chief, says it's the best hamburger she's ever had.
Really?
Have you ever had one?
I've not had I'm not usually a hot links guy. They're okay.
No, I'm talking about just the hamburger.
I've never had, I don't think I've had the hamburger.
And the French fries draw rave notices.
I got French fries the other night.
Well, they were good, weren't they?
Of course. And thanks for those. You bought them for me.
Debbie bought them?
You bought them because you gave her some money.
When are you paying me back?
I probably won't. I appreciate the...
I didn't buy you anything. It's not my job in life.
Well, you bought them indirectly, I guess.
Well, I don't like it.
Debbie had her a combo. I had some French fries. It was beautiful.
So tonight, we look forward to that. Just 3 weeks left. Let's see here what we have today. Katy Woods is going to join us at 2:45. They announced today that Baseball Around the Clock is making its return to the NBC World Series. Are you pumped about that?
It's a nice get for the NBC to have Baseball Around the Clock returning. I think people had been kind of clamoring for that. It's a staple of the organization and of the tournament, so it's good for them.
And we'll talk to her at 2:45, but before that at 2:25, Wichita State All-American high jumper Brady Palin recently finished 8th in the NCAA tournament event, high jump, from Beloit, Kansas. Going to talk to us. I love it when these outstanding athletes are uncovered from small Kansas communities.
Out of Beloit, there's athletes everywhere.
I understand that, but it's not. It's still a little uncommon.
Yeah, statistically, of course it is. It's tough.
And that I think that's cool. Where's Destiny Masters from? She's from Bluestem High School, and here she is having an incredible college
that'd be
track
Leon.
and field career.
Yeah, stuff.
And listen, I'm all over that stuff. I like it. And we'll talk to Brady Palin coming up at 2:25.
I have a question. No, I don't. I'm not going to ask you. I might ask Katy Woods when she comes on.
Well, what's the question? I'm sure I can answer it.
Is it extremely difficult? Rate the difficulty from 1 to 10 if I wanted to start a summer baseball team.
10.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
You wouldn't have the time nor the resources.
It costs a lot of money, is what you're saying. Like how much? 50,000?
More than you have.
Well, more than I don't have any. So
you'd be a terrible person to start that.
Well, I'd work with some others.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It wouldn't work. Do your job. Just handle your job.
No, quit discouraging me. Just say something positive.
Yeah, it'd be a terrible idea.
Say, like, if you got with the right people, maybe you can make that
That'd
work.
be an awful idea. I'm just being as blunt
Every
as I can be.
idea I've ever had, you've told me was
Give me
awful.
another one.
All of them.
Give me one.
I don't know. I
don't remember any other ideas you've had.
I don't remember a lot of.
I told you that writing the story about Joe Iyer was a great idea, and doing those kinds of stories, those long form
the
stories for KWCH is a fantastic idea. It's right up your alley. Starting a summer collegiate baseball team is not, and you would fail in a disastrous way.
Well, I'd surround myself.
No, you wouldn't.
With
Nobody would
people-
want to be around that.
Why?
Because what would you bring? They might as well do it.
I'd recruit the players.
They don't. Why would you recruit the players?
That's my job.
You'd be terrible at it.
No, I wouldn't.
What you're good at is what you don't want to do, and that's writing.
I write plenty.
Finish that Joe Iyer story.
I'll see if I can.
We're now how many years later?
It's been almost 2.
And
year and a half.
You have most of the information.
Well, I have a long interview with Joe that I
have to update it.
Begin to need to transcribe. Yeah, this stuff has happened since.
Is it
then.
transcribing that draws you away from this stuff?
A little bit.
You can hire somebody to do that.
I don't have any money. You just said that.
You could pay somebody $50 and they'd be happy to do it.
It's a long haul. Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, it'd take an hour.
No, it takes longer than that.
No.
The interview's over an hour, so it'd take more than an hour.
All right, it'd take 2 hours.
It'd take like 4.
All right, pay him $100.
I don't type that fast.
Pay him $100.
We'll see.
And get it done and get it in print or get it online.
I'll see what I can do.
But in terms of everything else, no.
What do you mean?
I don't like you doing a summer baseball team.
Why? Like, what do you
Because there's
dislike
a
about it?
million of them already.
Ours would be
Most
different.
of them I can't imagine do very well. And I don't know what you're trying to gain from it. What league would you enter?
The one that Casey Walkup runs. What's that called?
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, we'd be in that league.
And what town would you what would your team what town would you use?
Wichita.
Well, there's a million teams around here.
Oh, what town should we use?
What facility would you use?
I don't know.
You don't even have any.
I literally just had this idea 10 minutes ago. So
it's a terrible idea.
I haven't thought it out yet.
Where would you play your home games?
McAdams.
No, that's already used. And it's
we play at the big one.
No, that's already used.
By
Friends
who?
University has that.
They do? That's unfortunate. Thought they played at West Side.
That is West Side.
No, That's not McAdams. Is not West Side.
Yeah, what facility would you use?
McAdams.
No, you wouldn't. There's already a team there.
Who?
I don't know.
I don't think there is.
And you'd have to. How would you go about recruiting a team? Give me your.
Make some phone calls.
To who?
To coaches, to players.
And there's 1 million people already trying to get them. How would you get uniforms?
I don't know. I'd surround myself with.
So you basically would do nothing.
I'd hire Gary Carr.
Gary Carr's about 90 now.
I'd hire him. He needs work.
What would you pay him?
He's do it for free. He's 90.
So you'd hire him to do all the work?
No, I would do the work.
You don't know what work it even entails.
I would recruit the players.
When would you start?
Immediately.
Give it up.
How
please.
much money off do you think it would cost?
A lot. More than you have.
So we need to take out a loan.
To start a summer collegiate
It's not
baseball
the best
team,
idea, but I mean we got to get.
of which we're already saturated.
I just want one more.
Katie will bury you.
I'm not going to ask her now.
I am. I'm going to ask her, and I'm going to ask her the first thing, because it's just not a good idea, and you'll never go through with it anyway.
Well,
but for the purposes of this radio show, it's fun to talk about.
We got to see who we can surround ourselves with.
You couldn't surround yourself with the right people.
Doesn't Patrick Hurd run a team?
You couldn't surround yourself with the right people.
Doesn't Pat Hurd?
No, of course not.
He runs the Mulvane Patriots.
Not as far as I know.
Well, he used to.
I don't even think there's a team in Mulvane.
Well, he used to.
See what happened?
Well, I'd be fine with just doing it for 2 or 3 years.
And losing your shirt, and then what?
I don't know. Moving.
What a terrible idea.
It might be.
And it'll never happen anyway. Let me assure you folks of one thing. That will never happen.
We'll be the Wichita Giants.
Playing at McAdams Park in what? Don't know what league.
Casey Walkups League.
Don't know what
Is that
uniform.
the Sunflower League?
They wouldn't let you in. You'd have to have so much collateral and.
No, that's too bad.
You act like you can just form a team.
That's what I'm saying. Is it impossible to do?
For you, yes.
That's too bad.
You have no background in it whatsoever.
Surround myself.
Nobody would want to be surrounded.
Randy would coach.
Nobody would want to surround themselves with you.
Why?
Randy wants the summer off.
He'd coach
Your
for me.
friend Randy Griffith.
He'd coach for me.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely would.
He absolutely would not, because it'd be such a fly-by-night organization that he wouldn't want to be associated with it.
I'm going to so do this.
All right, we're I just think it's a bad idea.
It probably is, but I'm doing it.
No, you're not. You know, I've had ideas in my life that I
thought
I could pull off. And then I came to the realization that why would you? Why would this be an idea?
I don't know.
I don't either. It takes a team like Liberal or Hayes or the Hutch Monarchs. They operate with a board of directors, and that's how they operate. They operate mostly as nonprofits in the world today.
Well, there you go. Could we get a board of directors going?
You couldn't.
Sure, I could.
No, you couldn't.
You know how many people I know?
No, you couldn't get a board of directors
I
going.
believe I could.
And you wouldn't know the first thing about how to really recruit a collegiate summer league team. The work it would take would swallow you up. You couldn't keep your regular job.
Really?
No, you'd be overwhelmed.
That's too bad. Our team would be all black players. That's
good, and there are not enough of those to go around. You would have a difficult time recruiting them to Kansas. You're just popping off. You just have an idea that jumps in your head, and it's not even realistic.
Well, I didn't say it was realistic.
There's nothing to it. There's no way it could ever happen.
Randy said, "What age?"
See, and when you tell him, he's going to scoff at you. Why not coach a team in League 42?
That'd be nice.
Well, do that. That's attainable. You've never done it. You're my son. Seems like that should be something you do.
I probably will eventually. I like working for the Wind Surge right now. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Yes, I love it.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Probably my favorite job that I've ever had.
Really?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Oh, really?
They pay me to watch professional baseball. Really?
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 I can't believe you just said that.
Why?
I don't know. Just bizarre. All right, time for a break. We'll come back and talk with Brady Palin, Wichita State high jumper. He's coming off a fantastic season. He'll join the show. Bob and Jeff, next.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure you're road trip ready. So if you need brake service, and alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at Cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Here's Brady Palin from Wichita State Track and Field. He's just back from Eugene, Oregon, competing in the NCAA Nationals. Had an All-American performance in the high jump, finished 8th. Hello, Brady. How are you?
Hi, Bob. How's it going? I'm doing well here.
It's going well. So we were talking about you earlier, and I love small-town athletes. You're from Beloit up in north central Kansas. Tell us about your journey into track and field, how that became kind of your thing.
Sure. Well, in Beloit, I grew up. I played every sport, every city league sport you could think of. And track, I first started it in 6th grade, and it went well. I performed well, but my favorite sports growing up were basketball and golf. So once I got to high school, I stood out most in track, and I stuck with it and decided to go to college for it.
So tell us.
Well, I just wanted to say before Jeff has a question, your Twitter handle is Ballin' Palin, and here you are. You're in a sport now that there's no ball, so that's kind of an unusual thing.
Yeah, so in middle school, my last name is pronounced Paulin, so it would rhyme, Ballin' Paulin, and I came up with that in middle school, and I've just never changed it because my nickname in high school, people would just call me Ballin, so I've just stuck with it. And yeah, you're right. There's really no ball comes into play in the high jump. Maybe a shot put, hammer throw, but there's still a little bit of basketball that comes into practice. We'll dunk basketballs, some plyometric training every once in a while.
Yeah, tell us about your performance up in Eugene. Your personal best was around 7.3 1/4. You got to 7.1 1/2. What was your goal going in, and how did you feel coming out?
Well, my goal going in was to just have some good jumps. The Friday before the meet, I kind of strained my hip flexor and was walking funny all weekend, and was really pretty nervous going in up to Eugene because I wasn't walking quite right. I took 3 days off, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then went out on Tuesday for a practice session, and things really weren't feeling that great. So about that time, I was kind of hoping stuff would maybe feel a little bit better by competition time. And it certainly did with the adrenaline and everything else going on. But during the competition, I didn't really notice it. And I jumped 7.1.5, which is my season average now. So I didn't have a great day out there jumping, didn't have the best attempts I'd like, but I jumped about average, and that was good enough to get the job done and be first team.
Well, congratulations, Brady Paulin, our guest from Wichita State Track and Field. Went to St. John's of Beloit in high school. How did Wichita State come to know about you, and how many other schools were interested in bringing you in as a high jumper? And what was it about Steve Rainbolt and this program that appealed to you?
Sure. So I got started on about halfway through my junior year. I didn't have my senior year due to COVID, so I had a good mentor in high school that came to Wichita State for the decathlon, Davis Dubert, and he kind of helped me along that process and introduced me to Coach Bolt. And Coach Bolt and I got along right from the get-go. He came to Beloit and played around with golf with me, and that meant a lot to me. And so there was a few other Division I offers. I never took any official visits besides Wichita State, and I came here, and I knew I wanted to be here.
What is the key to improving in the high jump? A lot of times, how high you jump is just how high you jump. That's not always something that you can improve on. Obviously, when you're around coaches and others who do it, it might be a little easier. What has been the process for you over your years at Wichita State in just continuing to improve?
Really, it's come down to discipline. I would find myself in my younger years, I'd get kind of jacked up towards the end of the meet and kind of get a little too into the competition, and just staying relaxed and consistent with a lot of my posture and approaches. That's really what I have to fall back on, because early on I would get to 7 foot and I would freak out and try real hard, and really you need to just let stuff happen. All the work's done in your approach, and by the time you take off, you're set in the motion, and you can't do a whole lot about that. So really you just got to focus on your approach and staying calm.
Talking with Brady Paulin from Wichita State Track and Field. So now what? You've got another year to go, am I right, or do you have 2 more years of eligibility?
So my freshman year, my indoor season didn't count, so I'm going on to my 5th year, and I'm currently in the transfer portal looking at some other schools, and I'm working with different coaches and everything, because I'm halfway done with my MBA, and I'll probably end up doing like a certificate program at another school, and I'm likely looking at a team that's coming up on winning an indoor national championship.
So that process sounds very interesting. I'm sure that that will be very interesting as you move forward. But what do you want to accomplish in the high jump? What do you have a personal goal? What's your best jump, even in practice, Brady?
My best jump in practice is probably 7'1". I used to be a really good practice jumper, and this last year, I just don't jump near as high in practice, even though my track meets have been really consistent at high bars, and I've definitely had the best 2 seasons of my life, the last indoor and outdoor season. But the indoor and outdoor seasons have gone well, and I'm just happy with those.
So, you talked about your finance pursuits. You have been a bank teller here in Wichita. What has that experience been like, just trying to use that and work around, obviously, everything else you have going on with school and sports? And then what are your ultimate goals in that area?
Sure. I want to work towards my CFP, and I've found my only way to get like finance experience right now, other than my education, is tellering, because of track season going so late into the summer. It's kind of hard to find an internship. So right now, I've tellered at Emprise Bank in the morning until 12:30 every day, gone to practice in the afternoon, and I take a lot of evening courses. I got my finance degree in 3 exact years and went straight into my MBA, and I've been able to work it out. I've got good people at my branch that'll help me take off time if I need to go to a track meet for a week like last week, and they've just worked with my schedule, and I've tried to fill in as much as I can when I've got the time to help out my coworkers.
Brady Pollen, our guest from Wichita State Track and Field, All-American high jumper, just competed in the national NCAA outdoor meet in Eugene, Oregon. So you've got a decision to make about where you finish your college career. You mentioned you want to go somewhere that can win it all, that can win a championship. KU has been that kind of school in the past. Are they on your radar?
Right now, there's not really a school in the Midwest that's on my radar. I think this last year I want to challenge myself and get outside my comfort zone of the Midwest. I'm obviously pretty comfortable here, and I think it'll be easier to experience some growth when I get dropped in the middle of nowhere and have to make some new connections and friendships.
I like that. My son wants to start a summer collegiate baseball team, so maybe the two of you can talk about stepping outside of your comfort
personal
zone.
growth. Brady, I wanted to ask you, because you're the first All-American high jumper at Wichita State, just what the emphasis has been in that program on that discipline. Is that something that, because you were there, maybe was more emphasized, and we really got to get some high jumpers in here? And how are you leaving it? Who are the people behind you that might be able to succeed at the high jump at Wichita State?
So, yeah, sure. Right now, this last year I've been the only male high jumper that specifically focuses on high jump. So I've definitely learned how to kind of work on my own and just get the job done and get on with my day. And I'm pretty comfortable with that. When I first came in, I had a little bit bigger of a group to train with, and that definitely helped me out in my younger years. And I'm leaving right now. We've got a new recruit coming in that I'm excited for, and I think he'll probably do some more training with our decathlon and heptathlon athletes that high jump more often.
Well, I'll give you the opportunity before we let you go to talk to your coaches here at Wichita State publicly and how much they all helped you get to where you are today.
Sure. I'm super thankful for the coaching staff at Wichita State. It means more than they'll maybe ever know that I got to come here and have a good time and always feel supported. I know there's a lot of people that transfer into Wichita State and talk about how much they love it and how their experiences in college athletics were a lot different at other programs. So I'm super thankful that I've always been able to fit in here, and they'll work with you. They give you the work to do, and they let you do it. They're not sitting there on your butt yelling at you to, really get going, but they give you everything you need. You've got great facilities. You have a great new athletic director, Kevin Saul, supporting you every day, and I really appreciate that. So I also want to give out a shout out to Kevin, because after pretty much every meet, he'll text me and tell me good job, and I think that's something pretty cool that the athletic director goes out of his way to text you during the day and let you know he's supporting you. So I really feel it all the way from the very top of the athletic department to the bottom, and I want to say thank you to everybody there at the Wichita State.
All right, I gave you an opportunity, and you came through it. Good job, Brady. I appreciate it. Congratulations on a great season, a great shocker run, and we wish you the best of luck wherever you land.
I appreciate that, Bob. Thank you.
All right, Brady Pollen from Wichita State Track and Field. I guess I didn't know he was in the transfer portal. Did you?
No, I don't.
So this is the new world.
Maybe I should keep up with the track and field portal as much.
This is the world in which we live now.
Yeah. Well, he wants to go somewhere else,
and I don't begrudge him that one bit. But man, it's different.
It is different, but he spent 4 years here. He's got his degree.
Congratulations.
He's been working, and now he's
I'm
ready
all for the kid.
Ready to do something
Very
else.
respectful young man. But, man, it's different.
Of course. But quit
throwing a butt out there.
It's just an opportunity. He's taking an opportunity.
I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying it's different.
Very different.
I wanted to talk to him about what's he going to do to, next year for the Shockers.
But
and that's just not going to happen, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But I'm just saying.
And COVID changed a lot, too, because it gave people an extra year of eligibility when, maybe they've already graduated within their 4 years, and now they have an extra year. Yes, it's different, but everyone has their own circumstances and reasons why they may or may not want to transfer.
Well, I just imagine what I would have done with that extra year in my eligibility.
Well, how many years did it take you to get through college in the first
I'm talking
one?
about if I'd chosen to play baseball, which I didn't.
Well, you were going to a 2-year school. Did you need 5?
I could have used an extra year, maybe.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know.
But you were not a Division I athlete.
Well, I don't know that.
I do.
How do you know that? Have you talked to somebody?
Because if you were a Division I athlete, you would have been recruited to be a
lot of Division I athletes go to junior college.
Right.
And they get better. And they learn how they get stronger.
Find me the top 10 Cloud County right-handed pitchers who became Division I.
There's at least 6 of them that I know.
Be. It's got to be.
Well, I think there are.
Maybe. You think there's any big leaguers from Cloud County?
That I don't know.
Oh, I'm going to find out. Maybe.
I do not know. But would have been worth the would have been a fun run.
Absolutely.
Here's Katy Woods from the NBC World Series tournament director. Katy, hello, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So we saw the announcement today about baseball around the clock returning for this year's tournament, which is special in probably 90 different ways. It's the 90th anniversary of the NBC World Series coming up at X Stadium. Tell us about the process of getting back to baseball around the clock.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things once I was named tournament director. That was one of the first questions was, what about baseball around the clock? It was such a big part of the tournament for so long for people. So we've spent the last couple of years kind of looking at it and trying to figure out what made sense with our format currently, working with Wichita State, working with the neighborhood association, just kind of trying to check all the boxes to make sure we do it right to bring it back. And the 90th tournament, like you said, was just the right time to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going too, is just the logistics of it, because I assume it's not just, hey, we're either going to do baseball around the clock or we're not, and that's the decision. So what else goes into that as far as planning and, obviously scheduling and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, just to get it off the ground, we're playing at Wichita State. It's their facility. So we started some conversations with them last year, and they were really open to looking at that, bringing it back. And so everything from, most importantly, they want to be good neighbors because it's right by a residential area over there at Wichita State. So getting with that neighborhood association and figuring out good policies for lights and noise. Nobody wants to, if you're not winning prizes, you don't want to be woken up by a cuckoo clock blaring at you at 3:00 in the morning kind of thing. So that was a big part of it, was the logistics. And then you get into the team portion of it. And so we have a 16-team field. And so figuring out what works, pool play is going to be during pool play. So what works schedule-wise so that we don't have people who are teams that are having to play, 9 p.m. and then get up and play again at 6 a.m. So working through all those kind of logistics and getting those preferences from teams. And so it's kind of one of those moving puzzles, trying to kind of put all the pieces together. And people are pretty excited it's back. So it's been really fun to see the reaction.
Katy Woods, our guest, tournament director for the NBC World Series. That's coming up here. What's the start date, Katy?
July 25th.
Okay, and then we jump right into baseball around the clock Saturday, July 27th, starting at noon through the 6 o'clock game on Sunday, July 28th. and it's such a great part of NBC World Series history. But so are a lot of other things. So what other things are you trying to implement for the 90th tournament?
I know that was a fun thing. Actually, read about baseball around the clock. When you look at Steve Schad in 1990 made an official baseball around the clock. But when you look back at Hap Dumont, he was having games that were really late or really early, way back in the 50s, 60s, because you had so many people on swing shift and graveyard shift that he wanted to make sure it could catch a game. And so that's kind of come all the way through. And then with the 90th, we're looking at Satchel Paige played in that very first tournament in 1935. And so we're going to do a Satchel Paige celebration on opening night this year with a bobblehead giveaway for the first 1,000 fans. And that's another great way to celebrate just the history of 90 years of baseball right here in Wichita.
How did you land, and I'm sure some of the things you've already talked about as far as the planning and talking to other people, it's a weekend thing, but how did you land on 11 games in 33 hours? Did that just feel right? Does that feel like the number, if you use baseball around the clock moving forward, that it'll be about those same number of games and hours? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I think we've got to run it this year and find out. There'll be adjustments from this year for sure, since it's been 8 years since they've done it. It was a different format at that point. But for us, part of it was, one change we're making this year is opening night on July 25th is going to actually be opening night. So what has historically been is there's 4 games that day. You've got a 12, 3, 6, and 8:30. But the 6 o'clock has all your pomp and circumstance and, just kind of that celebration, but you've already played 2 baseball games. And so part of what we did is we moved it to just a doubleheader for opening night. So we'll have games at 6 and 8:30 with that bobblehead giveaway at the 6 o'clock game. And then that gave us 2 games right there that we knew we could move over to baseball around the clock. So that was part of it, was, that helped us add those games in there. So it really was a lot of logistics and schedule to kind of go for that, and also what's feasible this first time back after 8 years and at Wichita State, and then we'll see what it looks like in 2025.
We're talking with Katy Woods from the National Baseball Congress. Their World Series starts on July 25th at X Stadium. I know it's too early to know what your field is going to look like. You mentioned 16 teams. The Hutchinson Monarchs are the defending champion, so they'll have one of those spots. We presume Santa Barbara will be here as well. Are there some other franchises and teams that are showing an interest that maybe we haven't heard about for a while?
Yeah, we Hutch and Santa Barbara will be back this year for finishing first and second. They have a guaranteed bid, and some, especially with it being the 90th. You've got the Seattle Studs back again, the Jayhawk League, those kind of leagues that have been around and part of the NBC for decades. And then we've also got the Boulder Collegians. It looks like we'll be back this year. They had some of the best lineups, I think, of any NBC team for a while there, and they haven't been in a few years, so it will be exciting to get them back out again. I think we've got a new league coming out from California, some more interest from Texas, and then we pretty much have our field sketched out. We know what it's going to look like, waiting to find out who those champions are for those leagues and tournaments. But we've started to get a lot of interest. We've had 2 international franchises reach out to us in the last couple of weeks looking at the 2025 field too. So I think it's just going to keep growing, and there's a lot of excitement about it, which is really fun.
You can't really say it's good or bad that, Santa Barbara didn't win last year, but was there any fallout from it? I don't know what exactly that would be, but was there, hey, now that we know this is kind of a tournament that isn't just dominated by one team, maybe will come, or was there any just circumstances or fallout from Hutch winning?
I think there are some ripple effects from that, and there were some people who went, Santa Barbara can be beat because they had just won 3 in a row. They were going for 4. And so I think that was exciting for some teams to know that kind of any given day, you never know what'll happen. It was exciting for Hutchinson to win their first championship and be here with kind of that hometown crowd. So I think it did kind of shake things up a little bit to have a new champion at the top last year.
We're talking with Katy Woods from the NBC. So earlier in the show, my son, who can fly off the handle with ideas at times, mentioned that he would like to entertain the thought of starting a summer collegiate baseball team from scratch. You've seen this. You've seen it happen from the ground up. How much work would that take in your view, Katy? Because I told him
and money,
because I was gentle with him, but I told him there's no way in hell that he could probably pull that off. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if anybody can do it, I'm sure
That's right.
he could. But exactly. But I think the biggest thing is I think people don't realize how much time it takes and how many other people you need to pull in, because it's not just what happens on the field, and it's not just finding fields and baseballs and uniforms and paying for all that, but you've also got host families, and you also have community partners, and you've also got a board of directors, and you're also doing fundraisers throughout the year and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a ton that goes into all these community teams putting together a team and then choosing to come out to the NBC, which I'm assuming if you're starting a team, it's because you want them to come play in the NBC too. So
of course,
it's a lot.
You put it better than I could. And
I think I could do all that.
Yeah, he was checking off boxes
single-handedly.
as you were going through all that. So, well, we appreciate it. You're doing a fantastic job with the NBC World Series. We look forward to it. It's coming up next month at X Stadium right here in Wichita. Baseball around the clock, a big part of it. Thank you, Katy.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Katy Woods from the NBC. We'll take a break. We got an hour left. A Bob and Jeff draft. John Mellencamp songs. You sure we haven't done that?
Oh, we've only done like 2 artists. Maybe 3 or 4, but we definitely haven't done John Mellencamp.
John Mellencamp songs, the topic for the Bob and Jeff draft. We'll be back. This is the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure you're road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at Cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.